Starting our walk this morning outside the Son Dureta, what used to be the Son Dureta hospital. It's been closed down since the main hospital moved to Son Armadams a number of years ago, but it's now doubling up as a testing station for COVID-19, and starting next month they're going to have inoculations here as well. So it's quite an important place, people coming in constantly to be tested to see if they've got the COVID-19. We hope to be coming here soon to get our vaccinations. So let's start our walk. We're going to go walking down, back down towards Palma, and look at some of the sights on the way. So we've seen quite a few people actually going in, I guess some to be tested, but some holding their arms, so I'm guessing they've been vaccinated. So this was the main hospital, National Health Hospital for the Baleares, but particularly for Mallorca, and a few years ago they built a new one at Son Armadams, huge hospital, and this one fell into disuse, became derelict overnight. They moved everything out, but now they're going to renovate it and turn it into some residential complex for the elderly, but that's due to start later on this year. There were some other buildings just down here, the outpatients and the maternity block. The outpatients, some of you may remember, was a big green building stood behind these trees. That was demolished, and just behind that was the maternity block where our youngest daughter was born. That always seemed to me to be a relatively new building, but that's gone too. So all of that area now has been flattened, giving the hospital wonderful views. I think probably people in the UK would be quite amazed at the balconies they've got there. It's more like a hotel perhaps, and sometimes I do mistakenly call it the Son Dureta Hotel. Balconies which have fantastic views over Palma, and it also backs on to Belvedere Woods. We did actually go for a walk in Belvedere Woods last week. Beautiful forested area, suffering some damage at the moment because of the storms that we've been having, but still beautiful to walk through, very quiet, very peaceful, lots of birds singing. It was quite a pleasant walk, and the idea really is to link this residential home, which will be the Son Dureta, to the Belvedere Woods, so that people can actually go for a walk from the home into the woods. It's fairly flat, even though the castle is there up on the hill overlooking Palma. And we're going to head down now, heading down towards Palma now. And just to the left we've got some of the big schools down there. And up on the hill, Belvedere Castle. We're coming down to the area known as Son Armadams. Sometimes we drive down here, and at this petrol station, this is where we turn right when we're going to Belvedere Castle. Usually in the summer months we go there to the concerts of the Baleares Symphony Orchestra. But this week we managed to go to a live concert in the True Theatre, which is not far from where we live, but it was great to go to a concert, to see the orchestra playing live. So the name of the road we're walking down here is Andrea Doria. I do find names of some of the streets here quite nice, and that one sort of rolls off the tongue. Bench across the road, famous bench. That's Monroe's bench. It's where we pick our friend Monroe up when we go into the football matches. Hopefully we'll be doing that again soon. Going to play Real Mallorca. Unfortunately they lost last weekend, playing second place Espanyol. Playing again tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully we'll get a better result. We're going to cross over the road here now and let's go up this street where the no entry sign is. Building on our right used to be, I don't know if it still is, but part of Telefónica's buildings. Telefónica being the main telephone company in Spain, and it still has a Telefónica sign on. Not sure whether it is still used by Telefónica. And the main reason for coming up this road is for the next building. And this next building is the Anglican Church. So the Anglican Church here, where Anita brings the choir to the services to perform, to give concerts. It's where we come sometimes to visit the Coleman Hall down below. Sometimes they put shows on, theatre plays, but this has been the focal point for the English-speaking community in Mallorca for many, many years. So that's the Anglican Church. I'm just going to move on and carry on walking up to the end of this road. As we come towards the end, we're going to take a little detour to the right here. Someone many months ago asked me to go up here and do a little bit of video for his parents, who have spent many summers at the hotel that we can see in front of us. So we're just going to have a little walk up and around the hotel. Not a place I really know. I've only ever visited the hotel once, and that was many years ago. It's called the Isla Mallorca. And just cross over the road here. Like many places in Mallorca, they take the opportunity in the winter to do work, and here's no exception. So the places don't look the best, but that doesn't mean that they won't be ready for you if you come later on in the summer. So many years ago I came to a conference here. I can't remember which room, it was probably one of the rooms down here I came to. Seems to be some life at the hotel. The glass lift on the outside is going up and down. There are actually some lights on inside as well. I'll look around this side.
The main entrance.
This looks to be a bit more like the main entrance. So the Isla Mallorca Hotel. See these signs in a lot of parts now. SOS Turismo, Save Our Summer. A group of now many thousands of people who are hoping to save the summer. So the hotel gates open, bicycles outside, people are inside. The hotel is actually open by the looks of things. I can see people moving around on the inside. So it's still here waiting for you to come. I'm going to carry on walking down now, down towards the front. We don't intend to go all the way down to the front today. There's one particular hotel which has made the news, so we're heading in that direction to have a look to see why it's made the news. I'm just going to turn right here. You can see that we're in sort of backstreets of Palma now. I'm heading in the direction of Terreno. Again, that's not where we're going. We're going to head to what's just behind the Auditorium. The Auditorium, there's the big theatre on the front in Palma. And so we will see the rear entrances to the Auditorium. And then we're going to look out for this particular hotel that's hit the news over the last few days. This is a travel agency which is obviously being seriously affected by the pandemic, so they are supporting the SOS Turismo. So the building, a rather concrete looking building across the road, is actually the rear of the auditorium, and there is an entrance there, but I've never actually seen it being used. On this side, hairdressers are open and seem to be busy. So we're going to cross over here. Our hotel is just around the corner. So we've come around the corner and just going round. This is the hotel. It's causing a bit of a stir. In the newspaper, only part of it was actually covered, the rest was open to view. Maybe they're waiting for an unveiling ceremony. This is the Hotel Armada, and it's been painted with a mural, and according to the local council, the hotel didn't have permission. And I'm not sure whether you can actually see the mural. I can see it looking at it here. Some parts that are exposed. I'll try and get some closer shots, but the local council are saying that they don't have permission for that, and they may have to paint over it, or they may pay a fine. Knowing the local councils over here, they'll probably make them pay a fine. It looks reminiscent of Dali, Picasso, or perhaps Miro. Miro being a painter from Mallorca. So the style is in a similar way, that bold colours. See the images popping through the green covering, but as we pan a little bit higher, getting near to the top, there's some parts that are exposed, and that's what we're hoping to be able to see over the whole building. But at the moment, we can only see that little bit up there, just tantalisingly giving us an image of what the rest of it's going to look like. In the local newspaper today, about half of it was exposed, so you can see a little bit more of it, and I was hoping to be able to show you something similar. It's covered up. They're obviously still working, so it looks like we're going to have to come back down at a later date, see if we can see what it's like. The road we're on now runs parallel to the Paseo Maritimo. So as we're walking down here, the Paseo Maritimo runs by the sea is to our right. And there are the rear entrances of some of the hotels that are on the Paseo Maritimo up here. So here we've got the Hotel Mirador. We're also walking on top of an underground car park, so just underneath us is an underground car park, so you can park here if you want to go to the Paseo Maritimo. And we'll just walk along here just to show you how close we really are. It's a beautiful day today. Temperatures should be reaching around 20 degrees Celsius. It's when Mallorca's at its best, when the sun is shining, which fortunately is most of the time. I always find the architecture in Palma quite interesting. You've got some typical apartment blocks, and then next to it something that's just much more pleasing on the eye. And then blocks that are not so pleasing, and the graffiti that we've spoken about in many of our videos. Hopefully the local council start to do something about that, particularly as the tourist season starts, whenever that may be. This is an area I know quite well. One of our favourite Indian restaurants is just down the road here, at the end here, just overlooking the port of Palma. That's the Namaste. We go there usually after a football match. But on the other side we've got a bar where we used to come on a regular basis with the Masons before we went to a lodge meeting. Provincial offices used to be in the road opposite there, Calle Monterrey. It's no longer there. We've now moved close to the football ground of Son Moix. And as we pan round a little further, we have the Hotel AC, the Ciutat de Palma, which is part of the Marriott group. And we're going to head up back this way, up the Andrea Doria, back towards Son Dureta. So we've crossed over the road now. We're just walking down the right hand side of the Marriott Ciutat de Palma Hotel. I just thought you might be interested to have a look up here. These are real backstreets of Palma, that not the sort of places that tourists go, but sometimes you get to the end of a road and you find a gem or something you didn't realise was there or didn't know where it was. And that's true here. So if we walk up a little bit further, the end of this road, there's something quite interesting. So this is the Palma Tennis Club, which has in years gone by hosted many tennis matches by international players. Not that I've ever been up here before. But there we go, it's from the Ayuntamiento de Palma, Palma Sport and Tennis Club. Didn't actually realise that there was a swimming pool here. I never knew that there was the tennis court. So in the past, one of our famous sons, Rafa Nadal, would have played on this tennis court here at the Palma Tennis Club. Here's the clubhouse with the bar, closed at the moment. The tables out here, closed at the moment. And the gymnasium. I'm just coming to have a look at this piece of artwork. see any inscriptions, so I can't tell you any more about it. Perhaps if anyone does know any more about this hand and face, they could post it in the comments down below. So this is the Palma Tennis Club. Tucked away in a back street of Palma. So a hidden gem just in the back streets of Palma. And just come outside, and like in many places in Palma, there are parks. Quite often the parks are for children. This one isn't. This one's an adult park. So these are adult exercise machines where you can do your rowing or your steps, or not sure the climbing frames for adults. These are people for over the age of 15, not for children. Children not left out though. They've got the climbing frames here, the slides, the swings, and a spring to hop along on. So we're back on Andrea Doria, and we're heading up towards the Son Dureta hospital, just about where we parked the car. As we get to these traffic lights, there's a road just off to the right which takes you to Pueblo Español, which you might be able to see in the distance. Interesting place, and on a future walkabout we'll actually go up to the Pueblo Español and tell you a little bit more about it. Many of the pharmacies here have thermometers, and this one's telling us that the temperature today is 16 degrees Celsius. So very mild, and it's only 10:30 in the morning, so the temperature will go up. So we're going to head up towards Armada. And we're now back to where we started, at Son Dureta. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and hope you found it informative. If you have, give us a thumbs up, and please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you've got any comments or any questions, just leave them in the comments down below. I do look at all of them and try to reply to all of them, so great to read your comments, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Bye.